All right. Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with BWAA's Trainer of the Year, getting ready for the big fight with this fighter Terence Crawford and Steven Nelson on August 3rd. How's training camp been?
Training camp been going great, man. Really, really good. Probably 2 and 3 months in. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the guys get ready to go.
You're good. Go ahead.
What's in my office?
You're all good. You know, Steven and Terrence got done sparring today, and I know that the fight's about 2 weeks out. Based on all the different type of sparring they've done throughout each camp, how could you describe what you've seen these guys do at this point?
At this point, man, you know, I see what I need to see as far as, you know, work-wise. You know, both of these guys are in tremendous shape. They're throwing a lot of combinations. The wind is good, so, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited at this point. We just got to put the icing on the cake just this next week. We're going to fight me.
You know, the transition to moving up and weight, it seems like you guys have mastered it, because in this era, you know, when you hear undisputed, it's only a handful. But double undisputed, I mean, there's Clarissa and Terrence, right? And in this sense, he's jumping up his 4th weight class, fighting an undefeated fighter. How is that transition just moving up in weight? Is it just the same as always, you know, or is it different at 37?
No, it's different because you can't take every fighter the same, you know what I'm saying? You can't prepare the same way for each fighter. It's got to be different. You take the work mentality, that'd be the same, you know, the roughness, the getting up early in the morning, the 2 or 3 times a day, staying focused, that's the same. But as far as preparing for it, the 4th weight class, it's got to be different, man. Got to be different. You got to get heavier guys. You got to get guys that can punch in there. So that's the way I look at it. You know, that's what we took in consideration once we started camp.
You know, George Foreman, Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather, when these guys got older, there's always this saying of like, father time's undefeated, right? And granted, you know, George later lost and Bernard, but when you really look at kind of that point where they said it was impossible, they made it possible. So when a fighter like Terrence, who's like 36, about to be 37, I know he's moving up, you can lift a lot of weights, do all those type of things, but what really changes and what do you change with a 36, 37-year-old fighter that you just don't do with like a 22-year-old?
Well, it's not what you change, it's the mindset that they bring to the camp. What they say, as you get older, you work smarter. And that's what they got to do with guys in later half of their career. You got to be smarter. You know, you got to do all that, you know, extra hard stuff you run them through when they was 22. With guys like Terrence, just make sure you're in great shape and you got the right mindset going into the fight. And at that age, 36, going to be 37, his IQ is what's going to take him further. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely going to be in shape, like he was when he was 22. So it's the IQ that I look at. Is he boxing smarter? You know, got to take smart chances, and hopefully we'll get the job done.
I used to hear Kobe kind of like would have something similar when he got older. Like he didn't really like push himself into somewhere, but he worked smarter.
Right.
Do you kind of I want to say like there's hard sparring, but there's certain aspect change, like hard sparring becomes more technical sparring. Like when Dre, you know, came and worked with Terrence, you know, I've heard everyone say that was an extremely technical fight. I mean, sparring. They didn't like destroy each other's heads, but it was very like technical, crafty, to the point where it was probably better to have that type of.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, like I said, when you get up there in age, you spar more technical, you know. There's sometimes you got to get in there. You got to dog it out with some of these young cats, man. You know, they got the quickness, the speed, and all that, the young mindset, the work rate. And as an older fighter, you just try to put everything into check so you can get him to where you will need him to be as an older fighter. You know, so that's important. You know, that's how I just look at it.
When you balance between putting them with young guys to push them and stuff like that, that's a necessity still. So that
of course, because you know if we fighting a younger guy, well, Madrimov like 29 or something like that. So you know he's coming, and he got good footwork, got good speed, got good power. So you put him in there, guys, like like that, and just try to, like I said, put it in the box and check it off and do what you got to do to get the win.
Well, last couple questions on that is the ceiling, all right? I know that he wants Canelo Alvarez. I mean, I think every boxing fan, if they think it's a huge risk or they think he beats him, they're heavily interested. And so it's a fight that boxing can cement as one of the biggest legacy-defining moments. If that fight happens, you know, is it worse that Canelo has allowed Crawford to go take a Madrimov fight opposed to jumping from Spence? And
say it again.
Like opposed to just having the fight Crawford right after he beat Spence. Is it worse now that Canelo that they fought that he's taking a Madrimov fight and kind of moving up this way?
Well, you know, I look at it like you know, Canelo knows. He knows he's been in the game long enough to know what he's doing. So that's no surprise. That's no surprise. But you know, if he do get Canelo right after the Madrimov fight, he just might be in a little bit of trouble because he got that rhythm. He's into that rhythm. He's just into his groove, and just a good thing for Terence.
I know Terence has been a knockout artist since he went. Well, I mean, he's always been a knockout artist, but a consistent streak since the welterweight. Is it far-fetched to say that Crawford knocks out Canelo? You know him better than, you know.
If he smelled blood, I'm sure he's gonna go for it.
With Eddie Hearn, you know, in transitioning, it seems like Eddie Hearn has Madrimov, and obviously he has Jaron Ennis. And I know that Terence put a tweet out, which is directed to Eddie opposed to Jaron. I think the tweet might have been miscued, but the idea that when Terence fights fighters, essentially you guys don't get the credit for it. And then if other people have fought that same person, it seems like the credit elevates with them. Do you feel that that's kind of the case where...
Man, it's always like that, man, because it's whoever Terence fight, then it's his toughest fight, and then he goes and knock him off with ease. Then the other fighter got all kinds of, you know, excuses, this and that, you know. So, you know, we used to it by now.
Transitioning to your other fighter, Keyshawn Davis, he's consistently performing well. I know that since Shakur has not re-signed with Top Rank, don't know where he's going, but it seems that a lot of people have pointed and looked at Keyshawn Davis as a potential next
star
to fill that void.
I look at it too. And it's a lot of room there for Keyshawn. So, hey, man, I'm pushing. Whatever I can do to get Keyshawn to get pushed into that spot as being the next star, that's what I'm going to do. And Keyshawn knows it, and the team knows it, and they know we up next, so we ready. Matter of fact, Keyshawn here in the gym now with Terence and Steve. And it's good to see him being around greatness and experience greatness, because listen, there's gonna come a point in time where you gonna be in these shoes too.
You know, you're kind of hitting this like Customato-esque kind of stage where like once Terence like goes and you've had all your champions from Herring and Rob and you kind of built that kind of stable around that time, you kind of have another stable of people with like Keyshawn and Cashflow and Tristan and Avius and I mean and Troy Isley, you know, like so would you kind of say this is like BoMac 2.0 era, like the B&B Red?
Well, you know, you can say that. You can't say that because we got some great fighters. We got some great guys that's in different 60, 54, 47,
68,
30, 38, 68. Lester Martinez. Man, you can say that, but I would never take credit away from trainers like Robert Garcia, Joel Diaz, the coach in Houston, Ronnie
Shields.
Ronnie Shields.
that was a bad first name.
Yeah, but you can't take away credit for those guys, man. Those guys got great champions. Those guys they've been in the game coaching much longer than me. Yeah, I'm just fortunate enough for my name to be hot at this point. So you can't say it, but I'm not going to take nothing away from them other trainers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're essentially like, when I look down the line of when I was watching boxing, it was like Freddie Roach and then Amanda Stewart, and then you get, you know, the newer guys, where then comes like Virgil Hunter and Roger Mayweather, and then it transitions later. Like you're in, like later on, like maybe 15, 20 years from now, like people are gonna watch every single BoMac interview to try to get every single knowledge. Like,
right, exactly.
Do you know that? Like, do you feel that?
Because I do it sometimes, man. I go back and I watch guys like Eddie Fudge, and listen to Emmanuel Stewart, listen to Brother Nassim Richards. You know, I listen to those guys. I listen to what's that trainer's name? It used to be Sweet Pete trainer and Emmanuel. I'm sure. I can't think of his name right offhand, but I do it to this day. I try to see what kind of tone they take in the ring, and you know, see if I'm missing anything. So, is it more motivation than teaching? You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So, I do it to this day. So anybody ever go back and listen to me, you'll get motivation out of me. You'll get teaching. You'll get shit you hear that we've been working on in the gym for months in and months out. Well, it's good that you say that though, but you got some great trainers out there, man. Dang, I can't think of that guy's name.
You said
Georgie Benton.
Oh,
Georgie Benton, man, that's one of the best. That's one of the best ever.
Do you like read the books like that they put out, or just watch interviews?
I like watching. Like me reading, I get bored in reading. I like to listen, see my eyes open to see. You know, see, hear what they say, go back. You know what I'm saying? Every coach got their own style of training. I try to take a little bit from everyone else. You know what I'm saying?
Do you see some of your teaching in other people? Like they haven't talked to you, but they were like, you're kind of like, oh snap, he's kind of doing like catch and shoot, and he's kind of doing, you know, this or
no,
the.
I don't look at them like that. I don't look at them like that. I just look at their fighters. And the only one thing I look at trainers though, that we got fighters, I look at their style, see if he got that same style. Because the thing with me is, I ain't trying to change the fighter's style. I just want to add to it. Just, you know, shape it up a little bit. Let him keep his style. That's his style. You know what I'm saying? You just make his style better. You know? But you might see a lot of my guys throwing a lot of jabs. A lot of basic shit. Jabs, up, down, moved around, feint, step, you know, a lot of that. Set the tone, rhythm. So you see my guys fight with rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Just like water running downhill. Easy. Just a stream of water. That's how your boxing should be. I wish you could have been in there with Terry sparring.
I saw all around. I saw around before you like wave like get out of here.
No, you should see like
that was
rounds coming up with her. You just make it. You gotta just make a little small adjustment, son. Mm-hmm. Just make a small adjustment. You'll get it. I know what you're looking for. You'll get it. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing about coaching a fighter. Y'all been on the same page. Just kind of just small things like I was telling you. Just make that little small adjustment. And take that little half a step over. You know what I'm saying? You got to set him up. You know, you got to bait him in there. Make him do that so you can see it. You'll see it. Trust me, you'll see it.
But that's a lot of patience, right?
Yeah, you gotta have patience, man, because you can't rush into it. You can't rush into it, because they gonna pick up on it. You gotta remember, you got a trainer over there too. He can pick up on it too. So,
do you feel that creativity is lost? Like, because I feel when I watch a lot of fighters, right, from when kind of the whole, I see level changes, I see rhythm changes, I see them disguising their speed, their power, kind of almost playing possum, like not saying purposely looking bad, but it kind of gives a false, maybe reach and make them look, oh, okay, he reaches, but really that I just do that sloppy. Like, is that all that creativity? You don't really see it?
You gotta be creative in it, because you can't keep doing the same shit, because they're gonna pick up on it. A good fighter gonna pick up on it. A good corner gonna pick up on it. So you gotta be creative and shit. And the shit that you're looking for, you gotta set it up. You can't go right into it. You go right into it with a D level fighter or a C minus level fighter, but you can't do that in the world championship fight, because the guys in the world championship fight for a reason. I mean, they did their homework, they did their due diligence to fight for that world title. So once you get to that level, you gotta be creative.
My last question is, with the regards of fans of kind of studying, you know, who they like best. You know, they obviously like knockouts. They see Tank technical in his approach of trying to knock somebody out, but sometimes maybe take risks and maybe kind of get hit. Some people who got criticized for more of a defensive, flawless performance, like Shakur Stevenson recently, who dominated the fight but didn't get the KO, and made sometimes some fans might feel, hey, you know, he's not exciting, or quote, they claim that he's boring. But you know, you always hear a dynamic of styles make fights. Certain opponents might create certain styles. The game plan might always change, and the game is to hit, not get hit. What do you think the disconnect is when people see Shakur and say?
It's because fight fans they just want to see knockouts, really. They want to see rock 'em, sock 'em. And then die-hard fight fans, they understand the meaning of boxing. Systematically, you can break your opponent down. So that's the disconnect. The disconnect is with the just regular casual boxing fans, you know. But the hardcore boxing fans like myself, I love to see a fighter get broke down, systematic breaking down, you know, over the course of 10 rounds. He's showing his skills. That's skills, man. That's mind. That's using your mind. And sometimes you won't be able to get him out of there. You just gotta box your ass off. That's the name of the game, boxing. So I think that's where the disconnect at. But like I tell the fighter anytime, I don't give a damn if you didn't get the fucking knockout. As long as we got that W, that's all that matters. Because you can be able to come back another day. You can try to go in there for the knockout and get knocked out. That's the problem.
Which one with your eyes?
So.
Well, look, I appreciate the time. Looking forward to August 3rd. You know, Terence, Steven, they're going to obviously come out and bring out the best performance that you guys been working on. So.
All right. Appreciate it, man.